Okay, what if your entire city was a classroom? That's the big idea we're going to dive into today. It's called Education City, and it's a completely new way of thinking about how we learn, how we connect, and really how we build our communities together.
But first, let's start with a feeling I bet a lot of you have had. Does school ever feel, I don't know, walled off from the real world? You know, like there's the classroom, and then there's the messy, complicated, fast-paced life happening right outside the front door.
Well, that feeling of disconnect, it's not just in your head. The truth is, the world has changed so much, so fast. But our K-12 school model, it's pretty much stayed the same. It's a system that was built for a totally different era, and honestly, it's struggling to keep up.
So let's break that down a little more. This is the core of the problem, right? The world changed, school didn't.
And this right here really spells it out. The old reality was all about information transfer, just moving facts from a book into our brains. But today's world, it demands that we create new knowledge. And that old, limited K-12 structure, it's just not enough anymore. We have to be lifelong learners. And forget that standardized one-size-fits-all path. We need a system that actually helps us find and grow our own unique strengths. The bottom line is, the old system just wasn't built for this new reality.
So that leads to the big, obvious question, right? If the old model is broken, what's the alternative? What do we do instead?
Well, this brings us to a really powerful, kind of radical new idea: the city as one school.
So what is an education city, really? Here's the official definition. It's a model where there's this incredible symbiotic relationship. The education system becomes a tool to make the city better, and at the same time, the entire city, all its people, its businesses, its challenges, becomes a tool to make the education system better. It's a total two-way street.
Yes, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? The entire city becomes one big school. I mean, just imagine that for a second. Every museum, every park, every local business, every artist, every expert, they're all part of one huge, living, breathing, learning ecosystem. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This isn't some fringe concept. Back in 2017, the super respected Finnish education project 100 picked the Education Cities model as one of the 100 most inspiring education initiatives on the entire planet. That is a massive vote of confidence.
Okay, so how in the world do you actually make something like this happen? Well, it takes a really fundamental shift in how we think about structure, moving away from a rigid pyramid and toward a dynamic network.
And this chart breaks it down perfectly. The old pyramid way of thinking, that's all about top-down control. It's about separate institutions that don't talk to each other, and everyone just kind of waits for some big national change to happen. But the network paradigm, it flips that whole thing on its head. It's all about citywide collaboration, interconnected systems, and empowering people at the local level to take action right now.
So who's actually in this network? Well, basically everyone. We're talking schools, of course, but also public and private organizations, local businesses, cultural centers, artists, engineers, retirees, you name it. It taps into the full potential of a community, because in this model, every single person can be both a teacher and a learner.
All right, this all sounds amazing in theory, but how do you actually do it? How do you get started? Well, there's a practical plan for this, a 4-step innovation blueprint.
And the engine that drives this whole thing is something called the Urban Innovation Lab. You can think of it like a central hub or a platform where all these different people and organizations from across the city can actually come together and start working on real-world problems.
The lab follows 4 clear steps. Step 1, build connection. This is all about getting people in a room and fostering real collaboration and trust. Step 2, identify challenges. The group works together to pick real, tangible city challenges they want to solve. Then, step 3, launch projects. This is where ideas become action. Teams form, and they start creating collaborative projects to tackle those challenges. And finally, step 4 is to accelerate impact. This is where you create incentives, like an urban education currency, to keep the collaboration going, and you link it all to bigger, smart city goals.
So, what happens when you actually put this blueprint into practice? Well, you start to unlock all this incredible potential that was just sitting there, hidden inside the city.
And the results are pretty amazing. The people who participate in these labs, they report these huge boosts in their own personal energy, their inspiration, and their ability to collaborate. When you give people the space and the permission to dream and build things together, that excitement becomes absolutely contagious.
And that right there is the crucial point. What starts as this little spark inside an innovation lab, it doesn't just stay there. It spreads. It creates a city-wide movement of co-creation, and with it, this incredible sense of pride and belonging. People feel like they are truly a part of making their city better.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. If you started to see your own community, not just as a place you live, but as one giant school, what would you see differently? What is the greatest untapped resource? The hidden talent, the passion, the human potential that's just waiting to be unlocked in your city?